Hi everyone, it's Mitch from PickDogs.com. I've got Charles Ormsby here with me. I'm backwards in the camera here. He's got his computer software. He's from Spread Knowledge. These guys, they sell their stuff on other sites, but we're going to show you how to do it the right way and the good way, because we got the guy who's invented this thing right here next to me. Of course, we just handicap games, and we have everyone has their own methodologies, but Charles, he's got a different way of doing it. He's got computer software, and the last time I checked with you, Charles, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the doghouse. And, of course, the last time I checked and I saw your overall record, you have kind of like a rating system, but the high-rated picks, the ones that you rate them between A+ and like F. It's like a report card, right, of the game. This is kind of like you're report carding the games. That's what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. We tried to look at the profitability of each pick on the board and show you the most profitable ones, and those are the A's.
So the pick that has the highest likelihood to win and to give you the most profit. So it's a double thing here. Okay, it's not just the winners. It's not just the most profitable, like taking plus 450 money line. It's got to meet both those criteria to be considered the A+, which is the top shelf of the Spread Knowledge picks. Of course, we have other games that don't meet that criteria. So, yeah, I'm here with Charles. Charles is going to give us the winners. You guys know me. I'm a game watcher. I have my TVs all set up. I watch all the games. I watch halftimes with you guys, right? We always talk about all the games at halftimes, but Charles has a different way of doing it. And I'll tell you what, if it's going to put me on more winners, I'm interested. He has a special thing here. Basically, it's buy 1 week, get one free. I think it's actually just a free week is what this is, right?
Yep.
On his software, if you want to try his software, and we'll get to it, we'll show you exactly what it is so you know what you're trying, but it's free. You just use this link right here. I'll put it in the YouTube comments as well, so you guys can just click on it, and then that way you guys can check out his software for free, because people are going to ask, how do I get this? But what's your record? People always ask me. I know I get to ask the questions, the ones that everyone always asks me. What's your record?
Yeah, no, so everybody asks that question. It varies by sport. The machine learning that we use is very different. Basically, it's more predictable when there's more scoring and more scoring volatility. So sports like basketball and even NHL do much better than maybe compared to soccer or something like that, where there's a lot less scoring volume. But really, if you take our A's, you would be profitable every month the last 12 months or so that we've been running this since we launched. And the purpose isn't necessarily to only follow the A's, although they win 3 out of 5 times against the point spread, if not better. For basketball, we've seen rates much higher than that. But what we want to do is simplify the process of betting research and allow you to kind of focus on what matters, which are A's and B's, and kind of avoid the noise and double check what you think is good compared to what the machines think, because they look at 5,000 different data points for every pick.
I think that's one of the important things, and that's I've gone back and forth with Charles on having him on our live show. It only took us about 5 months to get him on, because we kind of go back and forth on these things, because the thing that I don't want to do is have him on here and have you guys not be able to understand it, because I look at it sometimes and I say, I can't understand it. Because let's just take a quick look at what we look at here at Spread Knowledge. Let me move some of these things off of my desktop before I share my desktop with you, so I have like all your comments and all kinds of things like that. And let's see, we'll just get it there, and we'll have pictures, and I just find that it's a little complicated, but it's like what I wanted to make sure, and what I ask Charles every day. We talk maybe 5 times a week. That's how long we've been wanting to do this. And I ask him just about every day, how can we, is there a way that, they don't want all the data points. They don't want all this stuff. They just want their winners, So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you my screen, and we're going to show a couple games here, and we're going to take a look at exactly what we're talking about. And I know it's our first time doing this with Charles. It's the first time I've ever had a computer software guy with me. It's the first time I've ever done screen share. So a lot of firsts here going on at Pick Dogs today. And but what we want to do is we just want to, so it's probably going to be a little choppy. And we're going to have Charles on just about every day this week because we're going to go look at his picks today. We're going to grade them tomorrow. And we're going to say, okay, we're on to something, right? Because we like to win. That's really what it's all about. So, it's not showing my desktop on here. It's only showing. That's weird. Oh, man. Such as
tech problems.
Yeah, but it's like it shouldn't it should show my desktop what I'm looking at. Okay. Secondary display, current application. Oh. Activity monitor, app store. It should show my desktop. Well, that's odd. All right. Well, we got other ways to skin the cat here, that's for sure. We've never have been not been able to do it. So this is what we'll do. We'll just move this over here. Okay. We'll go to my camera. We'll buzz Charles out here for a second. We'll take my camera. We'll go right onto the screen. Just like this. Okay. And here is the... All right. This is the beauty of live shows right here. And I don't know why I can't share my screen. That's just really inconvenient. Let me try it one more time. Can you guys see? What do you guys see?
I can see the Dallas Mavericks spread -9.5.
Really? On my shared screen?
Well, I see it on Skype.
Oh, but I'm looking at the YouTube. We can barely see what it says. Fuck. Alright. We're going to figure this out. It's weird, man, because it should share my screen. Let me go back. I see an island. Yeah, that's what I see. Okay, we're going to go back. We're going to figure this out. And we'll bring Charles back in to talk about his data points. So we're all interested in the data points. But anyways, this is kind of comical, right? It's almost like it's all you can do. Just laugh, but we'll look. So scene, source, camera, share screen. I don't understand why it's not picking up my desktop. It's odd. It shows like my screen, like the back of it. It's not showing. It's not showing it. Huh. Well, that's a bummer, Taco. All right. In the meantime, while I'm figuring this out, let's talk about the record of the A pluses versus the
So are you looking at? You're still on the homepage, right?
Yeah.
So go. There's a pick type filter on the right side where it says near even prices. Change that to all price types. And this will be the overall record for all A's and B's, all the grades.
I just don't understand why the eCam won't show. All right. Scene, source, scene. All right, hang on. I got another idea. I got another brilliant idea we're going to try here. So, Sorry, everyone. I wonder if you could put your screen up there on Skype. Can you do that?
You want me to try to share?
Yeah, try and share yours, and then we'll just show you. That would be even better. So we've got nearly 100 people tuned in. It's kind of like... and then we'll just, if you can get it on your screen, we'll...
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Wait a minute. There it is. Okay. So we did do it. Not as bad as we thought. So, show us what you got. Show us what this is all about. So I want to see what, can everybody see this now? Because this is, we did it. So basically, show us, so we had that Mavericks game for tonight. So, so here's the Mavericks game. Can we just isolate that one so everyone can see it?
Yeah. You want to we can drill into it.
Yeah, let's just drill into it a little bit more, just so we can see it a little better. And here's what the chart says.
So we went into the matchup preview, and you can kind of see all sides of the pick from this vantage point. And you can see that we have an A here on the heavily favored Dallas Mavericks, right?
That's a money line bet though, at minus 515. So that's kind of like, you know, I know your software takes into account value, but a lot of us, you know, it's like betting $515 to win 100. It's a tough way to make a living.
Yeah. No, what we're saying here is that there's some degree of expected value. It could be very small, but when I see that often, especially for NBA, you know, the point spread's a good kind of fallback, and you can see that the Chicago point spread has kind of underperformed or somewhat neutral with that beat, and then the Dallas Mavericks point spread has performed. And you can see in this, you can kind of see by tracing the last 10 games here, you can see they're kind of due for a win as they follow that kind of back and forth process that all sports teams kind of follow. They kind of win, they lose, they win, they lose, right? The streak is kind of the abnormality in some ways. But that's kind of when I see an A for a heavily favored money line, we suggest you consider taking that, maybe taking that in a parlay or something like that. But certainly the point spread is a good fallback option when the price is kind of that low. You want to look at another game?
Yeah, let's take us from the start to the finish. Like, say, you know, I'm on my way to the sports book, right? I just want to make some bets on tonight's action. Tell me how I can find the top. Like, I want to do a 5-team parlay. Show me how I can do that.
Okay, so probably in that situation, you want to go to our top picks. So I went up to the picks nav and just click top picks. You want to do it within the context of one sport, like NBA or NHL or something. So what you want to do is likely filter on something. So, you know, we have these filters at the top here that allow you to kind of drill into a particular league or something like that. So let's just choose NBA for the sake of this discussion. So after I choose NBA, right now we can see the top-rated NBA picks for today across the whole board. You also have the ability to kind of change what you're looking at, right? If you want to just look at money lines or just spreads, you can choose that option. And then you can also choose the price type as well. So if you want to look at just underdogs, like the best-rated underdogs, you know, that will show you that that's Chicago, primarily because of the price, right? Even though that's going against an A pick, it can still have value because we look at somewhat independently, right? Yes. So if we look at all prices for all picks, these will give you the top rated ones. Now, let's say, you know, you don't really want these high or low price money lines, right? So let's just look at maybe spread picks.
So you can wait. So whoa. So you just went to the drop down, right? And can you show us what's in that menu right there that you just clicked? So you can pick a number of different types of bets here. You can go against the spread. You can go just to win. So that would be money line, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then total over under. Okay. So there's three different ways to that you can use Charles's software here. You can bet just money line, totals, or spread. So there's no team totals here. There's no first 5 innings. I don't know. Do you have first 5 innings for baseball? It's just straight game. I mean, I don't know.
We have it. We don't display it today, but we used to display it. We took it away.
No, I'm just asking. We're just throwing it out there because these are the questions that I know we ask, right? I mean, this is who we are. It's like if there's 10 ways to bet a game, we're looking for the 11th, because this is what we do. We bet on games.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like you can kind of slice the data a little bit with that pick type filter, and then obviously the underdog favorite filters too. So if we just look at spread, like point spreads in the NBA, which is what we have highlighted here, this would be a decent 14 parlay. That what we're saying is each of these picks, right? There's no guarantee that they're going to win, but they're profitable over time, and they're more profitable than the other side of the pick, essentially. So this, we can do this just for fun, and then we can come back and see how this does tomorrow. So I'm going to actually make these picks on spread knowledge. So part of what we do, in addition to, grading every point spread pick that we can possibly find on the internet, like what we also do is allow you to make these picks, right? And there's kind of a social aspect of it. So I just made those 4 picks, each for 1,000 units, and I added the top 3 trends for each. And then that will be saved against my account, and then tomorrow we can come back and kind of take a look at how those 4 picks did. Hopefully they do better than 2 out of 4, but we'll take a look. They generally perform well. You can see, so we added this value pick key that you can see at the top. That's kind of between just above the main page content, and this value pick key listens to your filters, right, and displays accordingly. So you can see that the A's for NBA in the last 30 days have been 2 and 1 for point spreads, right? If we change that to all pick types, you're going to see a much different number there, right? Because it's going to include the money lines and all the other type of pick types, essentially.
So hang on a sec. We're going to come back and get in here with us. So we'll take a breather. So everybody out there, right? Everyone. Boy, I messed it up. I'm not good at this either. All right, there we go. So everyone that's out there, if you have any questions about this, because this is a lot of stuff that's being thrown at us, by all means say, I don't get it. Say what you don't get. And that's because as Charles, I say it all the time. Like anything that you have there that says like explaining this, that, and the other thing, about 50% of it probably came from me saying, I don't get it. What does this mean? So he can always add these things and make his software better. And that's why he's willing to give us the deal of, to have free users on there. So he has people trying this out. In the meantime, though, he has been running it for over a year, right? And he said 12 months in a row he's had winners. So it sounds like a winning year to me. And after your free trial's up, it's like $50 a week. And it's like, I honestly, I get a small commission from it, but I'll give up some of that too. So you guys can get it cheaper than everybody else. So whatever, I don't care. I'd rather be on winners, right? The money ain't gonna affect me. But we'll figure that out as well. But it's only $50 a month, right?
Yeah, a month.
A month to have a year of winners. I don't know. Sounds like a steal to me. Sounds like it could put me out of business. Anyways, let's get back to it.
Do you want to look at an NHL pick?
No, let's look at this one. Someone asked tonight's bowl game, ULL versus Miami, Ohio. So this is a lukewarm pick. I thought this game was difficult too. but it's rating this a B, right? And C plus. There's no real strong play here. What's that B plus? That's money line or something?
Yeah, that's the money line.
Yeah, because this is a tough game because it's a big number. It's a big number. And neither of these teams have been good enough. The money line, what was that? What's the C plus there?
Ohio money line.
So as far as let me throw in another question. I know we want to go through each of these different boxes and explain what everything means, but say one of our people, one of us pick doggers, right? We get your software and we do it. What kind if we have any questions, is someone there to answer the questions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have an active support team that will field any kind of questions you have, run primarily by me.
Okay, Rod the Puck Dog has a question here. He's saying, what stats is your program take into account when you run a team through it? What are some of the data points? You don't have to tell us your secret sauce.
Yeah, so we have about 4,000 different data points that we look at for each pick, and you can see them here. This is just a set of the first 100. We don't display them all here, but this is what we look. We kind of look historically back and try to make a prediction forward based on how profitable that pick has been. So in each of these different scenarios, it represents a situation that team has been in before, right, and has some records, some profit marks. And basically what we do is we have the machines look at these data points and tell us which are predictive for which sports, and then we use those to make predictions for that sport.
So, how did you come up with these 400 data points?
Yeah, it's 4,000 data points, and 4, they're just
okay.
Yeah.
I use about a dozen. Personally.
Well, I mean, the machines are uniquely positioned to look at a lot more than us, right?
Right. And this is the advantage. So, as far as and I don't want we're gonna have Charles on every day this week, and we're gonna go through this, and if you guys want, and this is something that you guys want to do, we'll have him on even more than that. We'll continue to have him on, and we'll find a time for him. If this isn't a great time for everybody, we'll have another time that we'll have him on. Obviously he can't give out all of his picks, because he's got to pay bills, but I'm sure he'll do a free pick show like I kind of do. We can do it together. But
yeah.
And we'll grade some of the picks that he did the day before, and some of the ones that were premium picks that that he didn't give out. We'll take a look at how those did as well. Win, lose, draw, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm interested in this because number one, it does the work for me, and number two, it wins. So to me, those are the important things, and the cost is there. The price is right, and I'm going to imagine that this is introductory pricing, and we're probably looking at something kind of like when my premium when I first started, it was $28. So I'm going to guess $50 is not going to last forever either. But do you grandfather people into the pricing that are existing members if you have a price increase, or are they carried along into the raising of the price?
They're grandfathered in. We have some folks that got in real good and real early, and they're paying a lot less than that, but that's okay. They're happy with the product, and they're still around,
Yeah, I know when I ended my last premium area, I still had people paying the $28 that when I first started. So I know that if you have something that people believe in, they stick around. And so of all the people that have purchased your product, what percent stay on for more than a month or two?
A pretty high percentage for a sports betting product, because the consumer is tough to keep as a customer for sports betting.
I can tell you firsthand. You're only as good as as yesterday, right?
Right. So there's a lot of turnover. It's a highly volatile market, but we've done very well. I mean, we have some customers that have been with us for full year, and we have some. I don't know offhand how many kind of have dropped off, but it's not many. And we have about 50 total today members. So
it's new. It's new. It's a new thing. I'm going to post the link in the Facebook group as well. for those of you that are in the Facebook group. I'm going to post the link so you guys can grab it here as well. But anyways, you can continue on, and we just have a lot of questions. There's a lot of ground to cover here, and that's why we have at least a week set off where we can go over this. And it costs you nothing to give it a shot too, so you could sign up, dig in for yourself, and then you guys can all take a look at it, and you have Charles here on the show. You could ask him your questions, and I'm sure everybody else has the same question. I can't look at this thing without having questions personally. So,
like any tool, it takes some time to kind of adjust and pick up, but if you spend a few minutes, we've really spent a lot of time trying to make the UI more simple and clear, understandable.
That's user interface for those of you that don't know what that means. That means like to make it easy for us, because we're not always so good at this stuff.
Yeah, so but there's always good ideas, and certainly our members bring us some of the best ideas. So if you guys have any thoughts or insights or questions, definitely speak up. Obviously this product has taken a long time to get to where we are today, but it's a constant work in progress, and it will never be finished as long as we're working on it. So you want to do an NHL game or like a college basketball?
Yeah, let's do the let's do college basketball.
All right, I'm going to take this drill into this Virginia game, West Virginia. So here, I don't know if you want to take a look at this. This is our predicted win percentage at the top. So it basically pushes the highest value pick to the top, essentially. In this case, we're saying that you can read, it's kind of hard to see because of the white on the yellow, but if you can see here, the predicted win percentage we have for West Virginia money line tonight is 58%, which is a higher rate of return than the minus 133 or the price, right? So that's why we're saying that there's some, small expected value here. And if you can kind of go down and see that the next one too kind of is consistent with that, right? That's West Virginia at minus 1.5, right? So we're saying that this has value too. And in some situations, actually more value because of the price, right? Because you're going to get more of an even price with this point spread. So these are certainly our two highly rated picks for this game. And if you come down a little bit, you can see that that's reflected in the letter grades, right? So that the control at the top there is just kind of a different way to look at the same kind of letter grades that you're used to seeing now that we've spent some time together. But basically on this game here, you kind of see a lot of middling picks, and then West Virginia is certainly the higher rated side here. So I'm going to make these two picks and record them against my user again. So, I can't make them from here.
So you have a 1.5 point spread, and that still is a B plus, and minus 133 on the money line is an A, and that's his highest rated pick. I mean, this morning, the Puck Dogs and we all felt the same way about this game, where that this was a strong game. It's a little scary because the spread seems a little light, but the software is confirming that we're well within reasonable range here for this game, and we should probably be thinking about taking advantage of it. So there's different ways to use the software, is my guess. We'll of course hammer this again, but.
I was just going to make that pick here.
All right, well, let's come back, do the pick. And so, but there's different ways to use this software, right? It's like you can use them in conjunction with your premium picks. You can use them in conjunction with your own picks to kind of confirm what you're thinking, or to, a game that you might not be thinking about. Like for me, that's where I think I would really find this, is where a game I'm not thinking about, and I kind of, wow, maybe I should take a look at this, Maybe I shouldn't talk myself off of the Seahawks against the Eagles. Maybe all these people are wrong. Maybe the Thunder are going to beat the Sixers. So Keith is saying that 12 months in a row winners. I mean, I can say if I'm technically 20-19 with my picks. Do you have the overall records for those? Do you have any, do you have a cumulative record anywhere?
Yeah. So if you click on the Systems tab here, this shows you everything, and you just need to click All Time. So if you do that, click All Time, you can see every system that we have essentially, and you can also drill into the picks by clicking View Picks, so you can see the details underlying that system.
And it has fancy graphs.
You can see so we do live in-game picks too, which is some of our better picks. It depends on what sport, but some of our better picks in terms of profitability over time is actually for the live value situations. So you can see here that our live NHL picks are extraordinarily profitable here.
Yeah, so that's another feature, and we have not gotten into that at all today. And I just didn't want to. I don't want to blow everybody up because there's so much data here and so many things that we're going over. And for all of us, this is so new. But the real feature and the thing that I really liked about this software from the beginning was, the whole that one of the great things is that it has, and we'll just touch on it here, and then each day we'll kind of give it a little bit more time, and maybe even lead in on one day, or maybe we can even do a live show during a game, and for a half hour and see if one of the alerts go off at at 7 o'clock at night or something, or 8 o'clock at night we can do it. And basically what I'm getting to is that this software has alerts built into it where it will tell you when you should be betting live, making a live bet within a game. And this is really the big feature of this software. This other stuff is great, and it has a winning record, and it has all the data, and it's easy to follow. But the live betting, I believe, how does it contacts you via text to let you know, or you have to have the app open? How does this work?
Text or email.
Text or email. So it can just text you and say, bet the Bruins in game, bet the Rockies in game, bet the, whatever. And as Charles said, the more volatile the sport when it comes to scoring, the better the software is. And that's why, right? Because of the live betting, and because you can really have swings that knock it outside of the, we can see your email here.
Yeah, I was going to find a live spread value here.
Oh, all right. I thought you were showing us your email.
Nope.
So I know that today's show is a little choppy. I'm usually better than this. So this is a live bet that it gave out to take the Saints plus 6.5. So what was the score of the game at this point?
So it looks like in the third quarter with a minute left. And, there's what this is saying here is that the starting line was -8, which we all kind of know. And then the live line was plus 6.5, right?
So this was a winner. This was a winner.
Yeah, it was a winner. I mean, it could have easily been maybe a loser too.
No. This was a winner. we like winners. And, we certainly don't discount them as winners, and I don't think you went through your email. We also do it and just specifically picked a winner. But here's a situation where it was in game. It was third quarter, right? The score was what the score was at the time. And this software said you can get the Saints at plus 6.5 right now for the in game. If you bet that, you won. And there's nothing wrong with winning. I mean, that you happen to open it up and it was a winner. And I'm pointing it out, though, that the person who was live betting the game didn't really have to do anything except make the bet. They were sent this automatically. They didn't go into the app and say, should I live bet this now? The app sent the email. You open the email and it says, bet the Saints plus 6.5. This is like my halftime show on steroids, is what this is. Is that a good analogy there?
Yeah, it is. It's highly efficient, right? So if you can, I know that there's times where this line might go to 5.5 or 4.5 in the fourth quarter. So if you don't get it right away, you could have that issue. But it could also go to 7.5 and 8.5, right? It can go either way. So
is the live betting included in the $50? Yes, it is. It includes everything. Is in the $50, but you get a free 7 days if you use this link. His site is Spread Knowledge. If you use that coupon Mitch there, same thing. Same thing. So, and the nice thing is that like you get that free 7 days. Charles is going to be here, and you guys have seen my shows before. We're not just going to let him walk off the show if we have questions. He might have a doctor's appointment or something, but you know where that fits in our priority list. It's we're not going to let him just walk off the show. So I think that's a good thing. But so when I did this, right, when I signed up for the live betting thing, I kept getting all these weird soccer games, like Russian soccer and stuff. Is there a way that I can just get certain sports?
Yeah, so it will adhere to your filters. So whatever you have set up here at the top are the leagues or sports that you'll get live value alerts for. So,
Charles, here's a question. Does your website work in every state, regardless if sports betting is legal or not?
Yeah, so we're an information services company, right? So you can't place a bet on our site. We don't take wagers, none of that stuff. But yeah, we're legal. We're legal everywhere, as far as I know.
Yeah, I worked here in Hawaii, and nothing is legal here. So I'm sure it's going to take a lot to learn. Honestly, how easy is the site to navigate? I think that's the idea of the free trial is that, and having Charles here live, because I think this is part of the thing, and I'll cut back to us so you guys can see us again real quickly, and we'll get back to the software in a second. But I get a lot of emails, and I get a lot of people on LinkedIn sending me messages, Facebook, everything. Everyone, they know the relationship that I have with you guys, right? It's like we're all in this together, right? It's like I'm not like some guy that has a Facebook group called Pick Dogs, and you never see me, right? It's like I'm everywhere. It's like I don't just have a live show where I talk at you like I'm some guy on the radio or something. It's always an interactive experience. So I get a lot of people that want to be on the show, and I think that Charles and I had trouble finding that spot as to how we were gonna do this. I was like, should I do a YouTube video every day and say here's my spread knowledge pick of the day that this and this lead to this rating and I'm taking the Chicago Bears, right? Should I do that, or should we do something like this where they get a free trial? We kind of give an overview as to what we're trying to do, which is win games, right? And then everyone gets a chance to get a free trial for a week. They can look at the software and then ask Charles questions because, I find it a little tough to navigate personally. I think that it's like what he said. It's weird. Like when they changed the design of Facebook, right? They changed the design of Facebook. It used to be a square picture. Do you remember this? It was last year. Okay, it was last year. We all had a square picture. They changed it to a round picture, and we had to change our profile photos, kind of move over a little bit because it was now coming down the center of our face, right? We did it, and now it's forgotten about, and it's just like anything else. I've changed the design when I was at Sports Chat Place. I changed the design of that site 6 times. After a week, no one noticed. We've changed the back end where you're writing. I mean, it happens all the time. YouTube has changed the upload and the back 1 million times. It's like eventually you just get used to it. So it's just a matter of knowing what you use it for, getting familiar with it, and then once you've done that, poking around a little bit, And we do that whether you're getting stats or whatever you're doing at any site. We all do this. And I get the email question all the time. What sites do you use for your stats, right? I use the same ones that you guys do. I use millions of them. Whoever's willing to give it to me, That's who I use. But Charles aggregates all these, right? How many do you just have a source for all your data, or are you everywhere?
We try to read in as much as we can from everywhere. The trick is grading the point spreads, right, by marrying up scores to those. And, we built over the last 10 years or so a data warehouse that helps us with that. And, it's not perfect, but our grading, it's great for USA-based sports, and it's getting better for the international sports.
Here's a question. On a 100-game college basketball Saturday, which we have this Saturday, we got 104 on Saturday. how many bets are you putting out to customers, and what's the average or an average number of bets? I can answer part of this for you, and we'll go from there. He's probably putting out 100, okay? But some of them are going to be A pluses, and some of them are going to be don't touch this thing, right? Because he never tells you bet. It's just, here's the different ways to bet this game. We showed them, right? Against the spread, money line, total. These are the 6 ways, because there's 2 teams, so there's 6 different sides to these. Here's how we feel about these 6 bets, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Because if I can figure this out, right? I got this one. Which Charles will tell you, man. I've been drilling him about this stuff since the day I met him, pretty much. And I do this because I do this for a living, and I've been doing this for a long time. So it's like, I know you guys. It's like like I said, I'm not just some guy who talks at you on Facebook, uses our Facebook group to put a bunch of ads and promo codes and things like that. I'm part of the group, so I understand what you guys, it's like, and most of you guys I'm Facebook friends with. So it's like, I know when you got a baby, or your daughter had a baby, or, what you had for lunch, or, what you guys ate for your 4th of July cookout. And you guys saw, well, I haven't shown everybody, my Sugarloaf pineapple. I actually just picked my white, here, I'm going to go get it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys. I grew this, if you can believe it. Charles is like, man, what's this guy doing? I grew this thing in my yard. This is a white Kauai Sugarloaf pineapple. These are super rare. You cut it open, it's not yellow on the inside. It's bright white. It's like sweetest pineapple in the world. It is awesome. I grew this thing. I showed everybody outside when I was growing it. But I grow pineapples. I have a whole garden of them. But these are the Kauai whites. This is just beautiful. But it's like, this thing's probably like 8 pounds. Just a monster. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys that. Anyways. Charles, tell them about your software.
Yeah, so we, really what we try to do, we can't really say that, this pick is going to win or that pick's going to win. We try not to be, kind of a tout in that way. But what we do try to do is say, this pick wins 3 out of 5 times. Or, we think this pick has a 55% chance of winning and the price is even money. So there's 5 points of value there, right? So when it comes to sports betting, it's often like a win-loss type of scenario, right? Because it's very much like a coin flip. That's the purpose of the point spread, to enforce the fact that it's a coin flip, right? But what we try to do is really look at all the coin flips on the board for that day and really show you the ones that, kind of win a lot historically. And if you kind of back those picks every day or whenever they may come up, you'll run a profitable system for yourself betting on sports.
And and that's the bottom line, is like, if you bet these picks consistently. So while he has a winning record every day, it's possible you could do 8 picks and go 2-6. I mean, it's super possible. But over the course of time, it's proved to be a winner. 12 months in a row is an amazing record. That's like, it's bigger than, Jeopardy James, right? It's bigger than his run. It's bigger than, I don't think there's too many handicappers out there that can say that they've won 12 consecutive months. But, pineapples take about 2 years. To get a pineapple that size, it takes about 2 years to grow it. So take the under 10 pounds. I'd say, it's definitely under 10 on that one. How long did it? Yeah, it took 2 years to grow that one. What I do is, generally, I just get the pineapples at Costco, and I cut the tops off, and then I have a method, and I cut it and whatever, and I plant them in the ground, and I got a whole pineapple garden down in the front yard, and then hopefully they come at staggered times, but sometimes you just get 6 or 7 of them at the same time, so you give them to the neighbors and whatever, and you give a pineapple to the neighbors. It's not like a bag of oranges or something, right, or tangerines, which you just have a tree full of them, It's like pineapples, like the holy grail of the Hawaiian fruit, or the mangoes, right? I mean, it's like, it would be great if the mango tree had like 3 a day, but it doesn't work that way. It's like 3,000 and they're all at once, or avocados, right? Same thing. Yet, like our neighbors will have a box in their front yard. It just says free avocados, but that's how that works. But anyways, do you have to put a credit card number in to start the free trial?
Yes, we do require that.
But you can cancel at any time?
Yep.
Okay, it's easy to cancel.
Yep.
Okay. Good question. Rod, I am fading the computer pick. I see. Yeah, he has a computer pick on there that I'm fading too, and it's called Clemson -6.
Clemson.
LSU. LSU -6. I'm on Clemson money line. Love them. Yeah, pineapples, they just take a long time. Let's see what else we got here. So what we're doing here, those of you that are joining us late, we're just doing an overview of Charles' spread knowledge software, and I'll put it back on this. Here we go. And basically what this software does is it looks at each game on the card, right? It's every game on the card that has a point spread, or is it just the main? Does it have like those 6-digit games like North Carolina A&T versus Florida A&M?
Yeah, it should. Anything that has a point spread and that's available publicly, we should grade.
Let's look at Florida A&M, North Carolina A&T. College basketball. We talked about this one this morning. Yep, there it is. Okay, so here we have 2 teams that are just, I mean, these are the 6 digits, and look at this, and this is what it should be, right? When we talked about this game this morning, this is exactly how we felt about it. That the game itself was a D-, kind of like Mississippi State's quarterbacking, right? Kind of just a straight D-. But I'm gonna post the link, and then Charles, go over each of these graphs with everybody and see if there's anything here that's actually bettable.
For this game?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like, so the highest rated pick is the Aggies to win money line. That's no surprise, right? Because it's kind of a bad price. But if you want to look at point spread stuff, the under, right? So the way we look at this at the machine level is it's in the context of each team, right? So that's why you see an over and an under for each team. And we on like the homepage and in other areas of the app, like the top picks, we roll it up and combine those 2 teams' trends essentially. But that's why you'll see an under here for the Aggies, and then also an under here for the A&M Lady Rattlers. I guess a lot of the universities are incorporating women's names into their mascot names nowadays. Kind of different, but anyway. So if you look at the top-rated point spreads, it looks like the under is kind of the best value on the board for this game. And if you look down here, it's kind of confirmed by that. So in this graph shows you the last 10 unders for the Aggies, and then the last 10 unders for Florida A&M, right? And if you want to just take a look at some of the other metrics to kind of see what they are, right? This is the record 5-4 with a profit on a 1-unit bet of about a half a unit, right? And then in the scoring aggregate or points differential, whatever you want to call it, the under has lost by 14 points in the last 9 games here. So, it's losing by about 1.5 a game, essentially. But in the Aggies case, you can see the point differentials plus 17. That means they've been outperforming the under and actually hitting that under, by a larger margin on some of the games. Although it's a fine margin, right? 1.4 or so to 1.7. It's not much.
Which this is where I kind of come in and say, is it an A, B, or C? Because it's kind of like it starts to get to be a lot of data for me. It's like I don't know if I have the attention span. You got a few questions here though that you can answer. Is this the same as the OddsShark computer picks? And I never mention competitors on this show or put down competitors or anything like that. Well, all right, I try not to do it more than once a week or so. But so I'm gonna guess that we probably don't know what's entailed in the OddsShark computer picks. Is that pretty much it? Or do you think that it's unlikely that they hit it 4,000 data points?
Well, our system is completely unique, right? I started building this like over 10 years ago, and it's we don't share these picks with anyone. This is 100% a homegrown spread knowledge system, and I don't really know what goes into OddsShark's machine picks, but I know that there's some other companies out there that have machine picks as well, and they perform for certain sports. It just depends on the sport. Right, like for certain sports, we outperform most of the field in terms of machine picks. Whereas for certain sports, probably it's somewhat middling because we try to cover everything. Right, so there's a lot of similar information services, especially in Europe, that are very good at soccer, and they have like AI and machine learning that's tailored towards soccer scoring and soccer stats. We don't have that, right? We're not that. There's a company that does a really good job with tennis. And they guarantee profitable tennis betting systems. And I've used their software and it's very good. But, not everybody likes tennis. So because of the reason, that we try to cover everything, we're going to have, certain sports that kind of are more predictive than others. And I think that's kind of just natural with what we do.
Okay. There's a long answer. So here's a question that we talked about this morning. Well, you weren't here, so it was easier to talk about, yeah. So a player's a game time decision that's injured. You have separate ratings? Because when Charles and I talked, one of the things that I didn't like about this software is sometimes the picks came out a little late. But he said there's an early picks and late picks or something like that? Or is it just injuries and stuff like that isn't part of the data?
So our goal for getting the letter grade assigned to each pick is really 1 to 2 hours. So as soon as the spread is released, no matter where it's released, we should be able to get that letter grade up within 1 to 2 hours. That's how long it takes to build the data for us. And to build the data, it's like over 5,000 data jobs that we run. So, it takes some time, and we've worked it down quite a bit. It used to take, a lot longer than that, but we've worked it to the point where it's about 1 to 2 hours to get the grade up there, and we think that that's acceptable. At least the members have been okay with that so far.
Okay. I've added the link to Periscope, and I'm adding it to the Facebook page. I just don't know how to hit save here. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, there it is. So I've added the link to the Facebook page. I've added the link in the Facebook group. I've added the link, at least on the Pick Dogs Facebook page. I've added it to the YouTube video in the comments a few times. It's also in the Facebook group. I put the link in there as well. So a number of different places where you can get this link. It's a free 7-day trial. Charles will be with us all week. He's going to answer all your questions. He's not going to leave you hanging because this is a lot of data. I mean, we talk sports betting, me and you guys, right? We talk sports betting every single day, 365 days a year. At least, I don't know, probably an hour on the live show and then maybe 15 hours a day in the Facebook group and all the other things combined. I would say about that much. So, and I still struggle with it, It's just because it's a lot. It's like you finally understand one piece and then you start looking at something else. But Charles is going to be here. He's going to help us and let us know. So someone here says, is it possible that, say ULL is playing in Miami of Ohio, is it possible for both teams to be B ratings? Right here, the spread C+, they're both a C+.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, and we actually see that. We see that from time to time. There's a great example in the NFL where the Miami Dolphins, I think, were home hosting the Indianapolis Colts, in week, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago or so. And the Miami Dolphins, this was before they proved that they could really win a game. They were plus 400 something on the money line, and that was an A. And then the money line for the Colts, which was minus 550 or something like that, was also an A. and we took a lot of questions that week about how you could have an A on both sides. And the truth is, when we process the 4,000 trends that go into the machine learning, it's 90% of those trends, if not 95% of those trends, are somewhat independent of the opponent, right? So it's more the performance of that team against the spread, whether that spread is an over or under, against the spread for that team. So it's possible that we could see both sides of the same pick have a lot of value. It's just a possible scenario, because we're not saying like take only the A's or take only these 5 picks today. What we're saying is here are the most valuable picks because they've been profitable in the past, and here's based on the situations that we can see. So we're certainly doing something different, and that's a good question, because a lot of people get frustrated when they see how could this be 2 B pluses on both sides, or that's far more common than 2 A's on both sides, but it does happen, and that's okay by our standards. In that situation, what we recommended is taking the Dolphins, right? Because the Dolphins side has the value because it's plus 400, right? You wouldn't want the minus 550. You probably wouldn't take that anyway.
I know some people that would take the minus 550 in our Facebook group. So anyways, I know people that are now like, now that you like mentioned that game, they're like, I told you to take the Colts. It's like, I mean, that's I knew the Colts were going to win. It's like that's our group. But so do you send out the picks or just the live betting? Or can people just go back to the homepage here, and can people just sort, like hit on, I just want to see the A+ picks. I just want to see the real best bets, And it's like, of course, we showed where you can look up a specific game, like we did on Florida A&M. But here's today. Here's the A pluses. So
this filter here at the top, or key, is also a filter. So you can click on these letters on any page where this control is present, and it will filter the content so you can see just the A's, right? So obviously there's not a lot of A's, not a ton out there, but that makes it easy. But if you want to get the picks delivered via text message or email, and soon enough you'll be able to get them kind of via like a mobile notification on your mobile phone, like you would for a native app. But you can come in here to the system, find the system that you like or want to follow, and if you click this green follow button, wherever you have your mobile phone set up in your account settings and your email address, will get a notification whenever that system makes a pick.
Mark, of course, says, Colts, thank me later. Everyone knows that's the one thing that always pisses me off when people say, thank me later. It's like, so what does that mean? If you lose, do we get to kick you in the teeth? Kick me in the teeth later. It's like, yeah. So Al is asking if he can see your record, like the record of the A+ picks, the record of the other picks. Because I saw on the front page the record's there, but that doesn't seem like it's your total record. It seems like it's reset or something. Because I saw it the other day, it was like 600 or something. No?
So this page right now, this defaults to
30 days.
Near even prices that you see here on the right. So if you change this to all prices, this will refresh, and this will reflect the last 30 days, how each letter grade has done.
So can you read them off to us, because I can't see it? Yeah,
so in the last 30 days, our A pluses are 82 and 41.
82 and 41. But go ahead.
No. So it's plus 8 units, right? So there were some favorites in there that probably lost. But
it's one.
It's on a 1 unit bet. So our A's are 656 and 345 plus 98 units. And then the B pluses are 1619 and 1487, which is down almost 370 units. So, but what you can do is if you click on a sport, right, like let's just say we take NFL, for example, right now that filters according to NFL. So the A NFL picks in the last 30 days are 9-0, right? And the B pluses are 15 and 14, and it kind of tapers off there. But,
So you're grading, this is actually, while we see some losing records for the lower rated picks, But this is actually proof of concept that your highest rated picks win the most, and that your second highest rated picks win the second most. And it seems to me that, at least looking at, when you looked at just the A picks, right? And we looked at the units and the record compared to the units and the record of the A pluses. The A pluses are what most people in our group call lock or a sure thing, or and we have even had people say, I don't care as long as I win, right? I don't care if it's minus 700, because someone will throw like, I'm taking the Patriots money line, minus 700. It's like we kind of heckle them for it. But so he's saying that he lays those minus 700s, but sometimes those guys lose, and the A, because it probably has less of those locks in there, actually pays more, right? So they're slightly more risky, right? So a little bit higher risk, a little bit more reward, but still winning tons, right? 98 units in 30 days. How much is a unit? How much is each game? 1 unit?
1 unit, yeah.
Yeah, so 1 unit, he's plus 98 in 30 days.
Across all sports, right?
That's nuts. That's really good. And we didn't set this up or fix it or pick this day or whatever. That is the record. That is impressive.
And you'll see if you go in there and you filter on certain sports, right? It may have a negative, overall unit value for some letter. Could be A, could be A plus, whatever. But what we're saying here, we're taking picks across the entire board, right? So all leagues, and we're saying, these are the best ones, and the best ones tend to be profitable, and that's why.
So if you bet $10 a game, if you bet $10 a game, and you bet his A picks over the last 30 days, you're up $980 on $10, and it costs you $50 for the software, so you're up $930. But actually, you got a free week, so it's less than that, right? $37.50. Man, I always say tough way to make a living, easy way to make a living. To me, that seems like an easy way to make a living. You think can we look back further than 30 days? Can we look at the prior 30 days?
We don't have a lot of different ways to look back into deep history, but if you click into the systems area, you can see all the picks for that system for all time.
So
right? And
is the system a data point or a rating?
So in general, our systems are machine systems. So it can be a user or a machine system, right? So users have their own systems. Like this is a user here, right?
Yeah.
And ones with the SK logo are machine systems. For the machine systems, we have a pre-game system and a live in-game system. So basically 2 per sport.
Can you break out the record against the spread versus money line? Can you segment that out when you look at the rating records?
I mean, we have the data. We could display something like that. If you wanted to, you could download all the picks for that system, and you can kind of, create any analytics from it that you wanted to. Not sure many people would want to do that, but that's an option as well.
Yeah. So what Al is saying, and he's bringing up an interesting point here. What Al is saying is that Al DiGiacomo, pronounced like the horse. It's what he's saying is that for us who would never bet a minus 700, that the A pluses actually might be a little bit better than what Charles's record shows, because we don't care if it's a double A plus. We're not betting minus 700. We wouldn't have taken a lot of those losses that he took, right?
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, so we would probably be actually in better shape than his software, which I went into this kind of ready to bust his chops and stuff, but software actually is smarter than me, so I can admit it.
Depends on the day.
So Rod is saying the same thing that we talk a lot about on our shows, and Rod is one of the puck dogs. He's on our morning show. And one of the best hockey handicappers you'll ever meet. And what he's saying is that, it's just further proof of what we talk about on our shows all the time. We talk about on Facebook all the time, and try and convince people that betting minus 500 is a tough way to make a living. It's just very, very hard, because that one loss it takes 5 wins, to just to get even. So what sports does it cover? Because we're asking here. We have a question on boxing and MMA. So there's no eye test, but I think that's sort of the problem that we have, right? Is that we have the eye test and it influences us. Well, I've asked Charles to be on the Daily Show with us, and I think now that we've had him on once, and I think that you guys have responded to it, and I'm going to guess that some of you guys have signed up for this, that he's probably going to be more inspired to be part of what we do here on more often. I know he has other things to do and other places to be, and places where he sells this thing for a lot higher prices than what he's going to charge us. So we have to remember where we are in the pecking order. But at the same time, I think getting him back on, if people are interested, probably not going to be that difficult. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm available, as much or as often as you want me to be. Yeah. This is really a passion project for me, and all I want to do is really help the consumer better.
That's what, see, this is the thing is that, when I first started, I think that what makes people like Charles and myself a lot different than the other handicappers or the other, sites out there. Okay. Because I think when it comes to website, I think we got him, we got him dead. It's like, he probably will admit that, when it comes to a content website, and all that stuff, we got him, and that's why we have so many more readers than he would have. But I think, when it comes to just, 98 units in 30 days, on his highest, his second highest rated picks, you add, even if you played those minus 700s and took those losses, you're still up 106 units if you just bet the A's and A pluses. And how many games? Can you go back to that record again and just tell us what the record was, the total record was? Because if you're looking for action, if you just bet the A's and A pluses, there's going to be other games that you want to bet, and you could just look those up, and so you could decide how many units I should put on this game. Right? And like if it's a B, maybe you put 3 units. If it's an A, you put 4, and if it's an A plus, you put 5 or something, right? And it's kind of like you could do it that way. And it's like, but if you just do the A and the A plus this past 30 days, and I'm not saying that's always going to be like this, but he said in the last 12 months, it's ahead. If you just do those, it doesn't look like you're short on action. It's not like, I can only bet a game. Some of these people, I have this great system. Well, nothing fit the system today. Nothing fit the system. You end up doing 20 bets a year. And that's like, for us, that's how we get into trouble, is when we have 20 really solid bets here. Because it's the other 345 days that we're playing 3-card poker. We're at the craps table. Or, we're betting the same amount that we would bet on this A-plus pick. We're betting that same amount on the Florida A&M North Carolina A&T game because it's on, right? Because it's on TV. I'm going to watch it anyway. And, we always say it doesn't matter if it's North Carolina A&T versus Florida A&M or if it's the Boston Celtics versus, the Dallas Mavericks. It's all the same to us. Throw in 5 points and put a couple bucks one way or the other. I'm watching the Super Bowl, right? It's like that's really what this is all about. But it seems that he has a winning track record. We have kind of a good overview, I think, for today. A good intro, right? We've asked a lot of good questions. We're probably going to have a lot of these same questions over the course of the week. It's okay. I'm not going to beat you guys up about it. I'm not going to say, I answered that crap. But, at the same time, we have a code here. You get a free week trial, and then after that, you'll get a discount on top of it, after your trial's up. And we'll probably, be able to talk him into a better discount when he sees how many people signed up and were interested in this. We could squeeze him. We got numbers here. I honestly think, and I know this, right? And I'm going to say some things here that Charles and I, we didn't rehearse or anything. Obviously, the show's been a little choppy, but Charles has a lot of offers from big companies, the big guys, right? The really big guys, out there. Guys that are involved in not just the sports betting, but in the gaming industry giants, right? I can't say some of their names, but some of them have 3 letters. They make slot machines, things like that, right? They've all contacted him. It's not like he's not known, but the reason why he's here with us is because this was his original purpose of building the software. And obviously he has expenses. He has, this didn't happen for free, and he has a life. You can see, he lives in his mother's basement there, right? He's got look, show around your room there, man. This is crazy. This is what it takes to do this. This is actually really cool. So look at this. Look at that setup. Everyone always says my TV setup. Look at his computer setup. 6 monitors there. He's got all kinds of racks of stuff. Just, wires, cords, and it's all just to bring winners. And the whole point of this, look at this. I mean, look at all this stuff. So the thing is that, we're good, but it's like, so the whole point of this is that, people, we lost you. There we go. So the whole point of this was that, and what Charles always says to me, and I'm like, yeah, but eventually you got to pay for this stuff. And it's like, it's hard to charge people, and it's hard to come up with a price. And, the $50 a month that it is, and I think it's actually less than that, right? It's $49.99 or something, right? Is it 50 or is it $49.99? $49.99, right? Whatever. It's $49 or $49.99, whatever. It's less than $50, right? It's like, that isn't going to get it done over the long haul. I got news for you, because it's like the more people that use it, the more his expenses are going to go up, right? We know that. But the thing is that he created this so people can win, and that's his primary focus, is to put more people on winners. And so him and I have that synergy. I started, my first website for that reason. My second website, why do you give away so much for free? Everyone asks me that all the time. People in this industry, I get hate mail, because of what I've done to this industry. And, I don't think Charles is going to get any hate mail, but I'll tell you what he is going to get. He's going to get, he's going to get hits from the big guys, and they're going to want to do this, that, and the other thing. And, he's not going to have a lot of choice. He's going to have to take the money. You can't always say no. You can't always take the high road and do the right thing. So we'll take advantage of this while we can. And, the trial code is Mitch. The link is in the. I'll put the link again in the comments. It's also in the description. Just use the link. Yeah, $50 a month. That's $12 a week. Well, it's $12.50 a week. So divide that by 7 days. It's not even $2 a day. It's like $1 something a day, and then, I don't know, Saturday there's 104 college basketball games for your buck, whatever. It is about probably a penny a game on Saturday. If you can't afford if the price is too high, if you can't afford a penny a game, or $2, $1.65 a day for something that has shown it has plus 106 units, if you just bet the A plus and the A's, I'm going to say sports betting, probably not for you. Charles, anything you want to say to sign off with everybody? I think we've had a good show. We definitely welcome you, and I look forward to tomorrow. I think everyone will have some time to process everything. We'll probably be a little sharper on our end, but I think the fact that at least we figured out the screen share, that was a good thing. Anybody else have anything that's important out there that they need to go? Can you pick the resources I like to join? I don't know what that is. Can you pick the resources? I think it kind of just takes everything into account, right?
What was that a question?
Yes. So it's got 4,000 data points. Can you just select, or you don't show them all, right? You only show the top 100.
Right. So if we go, let's say, go back to the top picks. Let's see.
No, I think the reason. So here it is. Someone's saying this was a great idea to bring him on, because I think this. I think that it's twofold. Number one, it's a proven winning strategy. Okay, it's a proven winner on his top bets. Number two, you can get advice on other games that you're going to bet anyway, regardless of what his software says, which we all do. We all do that, right? It's like we all bet games that we don't like. Okay, we all do it, right? We have a bet on the noon game, and then we don't really like anything until the 6 o'clock games, but there's 34 college basketball games in between. I'm going to watch, 16 of them, so might as well have some action on it, right? I mean, we all do that. So he's going to tell you, this software is going to help guide you through, how little and how much to place on some of those. And it's kind of like something that you can use in conjunction with your own picks. It's like, I love Clemson. His software doesn't like Clemson. Maybe I shouldn't bet the whole house on it. Maybe I should keep the pineapple, because I might need it. So, there's a lot of different ways you can use it. And at a $50 a month price point, at $1 or something a day, less than a Starbucks, half a star. You can't get half a Starbucks. At that price is, and I'm the least salesy guy in the history of sports handicapping, but I'm going to say at that price, it's kind of a no-brainer, and you could cancel at any time, right? So not a big deal. But anyways, that has any questions, Charles? Anything you want to say to everybody before we meet again tomorrow? You want to do same time tomorrow, 4:00 Eastern, or is that good for you? Or you got another time, or?
Yeah, that works. That works. And I wanted to answer that question. If I understand it correctly, it was more, I think the person was asking, like, could we toggle these on or off, right? The data points that we use to grade the game. Was that kind of what they were getting at, or?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, like, I'll explain it as this. I know there's competitor software that allows you to pick, like, 2 or 3 of these, or maybe, as many as you want, probably.
So, here it is. So here's a common issue. Card not working for the sign-up trial. That's something that you can contact the customer support. They'll help you on that.
Yeah.
If there's an issue. Usually something like that, it's a bad zip code or the 3-digit code, right? Or if you use Amex, 4-digit. And also, I think, what payment do you take? PayPal?
Any of the cards.
Venmo?
I think. Yeah.
Cash App? Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think it's just like credit and debit cards.
Do you take Pick Dog's poker chips?
Will now. So yeah, no, I don't have anything else. I appreciate the time having me, guys. I really do, and I'll be back with you soon. It sounds like tomorrow, and we'll keep getting at it. I love this stuff. It's exciting to me, and if I can help you guys be more successful at what you do, that's why I'm here. So
yeah, I'm excited to come back tomorrow. Look at the body of work at what we looked at today, the games. We'll look at that Clemson LSU score again. We'll see if maybe the computer changed a couple things, and we'll go from there. But anyways, thanks, Charles, for joining us. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. We had a few hundred people watching this, which is awesome. 4:00 shows generally don't do that kind of traffic, but what the hell, we'll take it. You guys are always welcome, and we'll talk about this stuff in the Facebook group. Of course, tomorrow morning, I'll be live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, like I am every day, 7 days a week, and maybe at some point we'll bring Charles on to the live show with the Puck Dogs and let them hammer away. Maybe we'll bring Steve Monahan with us tomorrow. I think Steve had some questions for you about this software. He's suspect. Anyways, thanks. I'm suspect. But at 98 plus 98 units, tough to be suspect of that. Anyways, this is Mitch. Charles, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.